works, but O-line model definitely works because I didn't tell you this, Toby, bro. Before you actually gave me that final approval, I had just threw one out there just to see if it would get any traction. It got nothing, bro.
So, hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Before you had gave me the sign off on the resume.
Oh, so you're saying when we were going back and forth. Resume. Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to see. I was like, yo, let me see. I got nothing. And
so
then,
you're saying before we started going back and forth on your resume, you had put it out there and you got no hits back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we had did like one or two of them, like back and forth, and I was waiting on you to reply. And I think you might have been on like vacay or something, but I was like, I'm gonna see what happened. Yeah, bro. I like nothing. And then since then, as you gave me the thumbs up, I'm getting emails left and right, phone calls, like, yeah, bro. So the O-line model definitely worked.
Glad to hear that. I didn't know that you snuck one out there. I always tell, and that, I mean, I know, I already know students are going to do that. Everybody wants to shoot their shot. And I always recommend people do, just so you can see the difference, right? You can see the difference between a good resume and what you think is a good resume, right? People may think I'm being hard on them on their resumes, but hey, if I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it?
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay. Where are you uploading your resume? Which platform? LinkedIn or somewhere like that?
Go ahead, Joe. I'll let you answer
that. I've done LinkedIn. Like I connected with some other people that I know that are in tech, and they told me to do like use LinkedIn really heavy. And I made some connections on LinkedIn, and then I put it Dice, and I think I have one on like Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you used Indeed?
Yeah, I've put one on Indeed, a profile on Indeed, Dice, DICE, and LinkedIn. Those
okay.
three.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, ZipRecruiter is another good one, y'all. It's definitely another good location to look for jobs.
Yeah, I use them.
Indeed I like Indeed as well. ZipRecruiter, Indeed, LinkedIn. One thing that I do recommend students do on LinkedIn is once your profile looks good and your resume is up to date, it looks squared away, hit up recruiters, right? Slide into their DMs. A lot of recruiters, they'll put hashtags in their bio saying hiring, or let me write it up. A lot of recruiters, what they'll do on LinkedIn is put that in their bio, hiring with the hashtag. So if you just filtered on that, you search for hashtag hiring, and then maybe SOC analyst, right? Right, maybe SOC analyst or whatever position you're looking for, you'll find some recruiters who are hiring for that position. And then when you do, slide in their DMs, right? Say, hey, I saw you were posting this. I mean, the worst they can tell you is go apply directly to the job listing. The best they can tell you is, hey, let me see your resume so I can take a look. We've had a student get a job like that as a cloud security engineer. He actually hit me up today. It's one of our old students. He just got a new position, promotion. It's been about a year since he's been in class, so that's good for him. He's going up. But it all started with him sliding in a recruiter's DM. All right, y'all. So I don't want to keep us on too late here. Please feel free if you got any more questions for Joe. He's a certified student. He's been going through interviews back to back. YouTube Live, you missed a little bit of what Joe was saying. He has some interviews lined up next week, some interviews he did this week. He's knocking it out. His resume, when he put it out the first time, wasn't getting as much interaction as he wanted. After some back and forth with O-line, he's been interviewing nonstop. So congratulations, Joe. Keep that up. Please do not take your foot off the pedal. Like, break the pedal, break it. All right. So, and one of the things today is because of Joe, right? He's trying to grasp or understand more about scripting. So let's start with Netcat first. Netcat's going to be, I mean, they're both pretty simple. But hey, Joe, what's Netcat? Does anybody remember what Netcat was? What it's for? What we use it for? What we do with it?
It's like a Swiss Army knife of a command line.
Right.
It can do a little bit of everything.
Right. We can do a little bit of everything with Netcat. Okay, Netcat is considered the Army Swiss knife for pen testers because you can do a little bit of everything. You can port scan, you can transfer files, you can set up backdoors. I'm gonna try and show you a little bit of each today. Okay, on Kali Linux, Netcat comes pre-installed. You just have to use the command Netcat. On Windows operating systems, it does not come installed, so you do have to download and install it here. I already have it here, netcat.exe. CLS to clear my screen. So what I'm going to do first is let's use Netcat to ping the system. All right, let's ping this system. I'm on a Windows operating system. Quick question. I need my IP address. What command am I going to enter to get my IP address? This is an open question for anybody.
IP config.
IF config?
IP for Windows.
Yeah, if you have Windows, it's IP config.
Okay, good job, y'all. So I need this IP address and I want to do a port scan on this guy, 192.168.150.160. So to do port scans on Netcat, all right, you obviously have to start with Netcat command, and then you're going to give the ZB switch, followed by that IP address, which I think I've forgotten already. Okay, 166. And then a port number. I'll just give port 80. This port is not open on that system, right? I know it's not open, okay? Because this port, that system doesn't need port 80. It's not a web server, it's a normal workstation. Let's try our system, because I think we have our web server started here. Yes, so let's go ahead and scan this system. So I'll hit the up button to go back to my last command, change this IP address to this Kali Linux machine that we're on, and then I'm gonna hit enter. And it says it's open. Okay, port 80 is open here. Port 80 is closed on our Windows machine. This is the Windows machine. This is the Kali Linux machine. We just use Netcat to scan for open ports. We can scan for more open ports, right? Let's do 80 and port 22. What service uses port 22, y'all?
SSH.
SSH. What about FTPS? Does FTPS use port 22? No. FTPS uses 21. SFTP uses port 22. What service uses port 80?
HTTP.
HTTP.
Good job. Good job, y'all. Both of these are open on our Kali Linux machine. Okay, Netcat can be used to scan for ports, right? This is just quick and dirty. Is this going to be your go-to tool to scan for ports? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on you, your goal, your objectives. Some people may prefer to use Nmap, right? Because you can do a lot more with Nmap than you can with Netcat as a port scanner. All right, so that's how we scan for ports on Netcat. If you have any questions on that, let me know as we're shifting over to transferring files. Make sure this file that I want is here. So a little bit about the commands I'm running. This dir command on Windows is going to list out the contents of my directory. Okay, the directory that I'm currently in. So these are everything in my downloads folder. All right, you can see that I'm under downloads right here, users, student, downloads. You see the notes.txt right here, it's right here. See netcat.exe, it's right here. Okay, this is just the command line version. All right, so I want to transfer this notes.txt file over to this system here. Okay, I just got to remember the command. We don't have it here now. So to do this, I have to first activate some Netcat switches, L, V, and P. Okay, L is to listen. Actually, oops, let's do this. For most commands, you can usually get a help guide, right? Sometimes you have to do -- help. Sometimes you just do -H, and they would tell you what all the switches do. Okay, so we're going to use L to open up a port, listen on a port. We're going to use Ns to only resolve to IPs. We don't care about the DNS names. V, because we want as much information as possible. That's verbosity. Let me make sure nobody's in the lobby. Hey, class, if you're in the lobby, let me know. Just hit me up on Discord. And the other switch we're using, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, P, to set up port. Okay, so Netcat, LVMP. We're going to listen on port 443. And I want to transfer a file. Cyber Thursday. I'll call the file cyberthursday.txt. So what I'm doing here is opening up a connection on my Kali Linux box on port 443. Right now, that port is not open. We can do port scan, a real quick and dirty port scan. I don't think the port's open. It's not open right now, but I'm going to open it. So I'm going to open it, 443, boom. And everything that connects to us on port 443 will get put inside of this file called Cyber Thursday. Permission denied. So I probably have to run sudo for this to work. Now, before we even transfer any files, let's see if this port is open now with a quick and dirty port scan. That's wrong IP address. I clear my screen, y'all, with Control L, just if you're wondering why everything was disappearing. It's a shortcut. Now look, it's open now. It's open, and I just broke that shell. Got to run that again. But we can see that it's open. Okay, why is it open? Because we just opened it up with Netcat. All right, now this is open. I'm going to go back to our Windows operating system, and I'm going to try and transfer what's in this file to this machine. Now on Linux, to open up a file, you would type cat and then the name of the file. That's not going to work on Windows. On Windows, you're going to type and then the name of the file. And you can see in this file, it says, welcome to Cyber Thursday. This is a test. This is to test out the Netcat file transfer. This file is located on the Windows workstation. So I'm going to do netcat.exe. The IP address of the system, which is 150.160. Yeah, 150.160. The port number that we opened up. And then the name of the file I want to transfer over. So netcat.exe, the port number 150.160. Just double check 150.160. Yeah. Then the port number 443 and the name of the file that we want to transfer. I'm going to hit enter. Come over here. You can see that a session was established here. If I go to this bottom half of my screen and just open up this file, because this is where everything is being stored in that's coming through this connection. Welcome to Cyber Thursdays. This is the test of Netcat file transfer. This file is located on the Windows workstation. This is how we can transfer files back and forth. So in theory, we could transfer payloads back and forth using Netcat. We can transfer malicious scripts, legitimate scripts, whatever you wanted to transfer back and forth. Now, another thing we can do with Netcat, that's why it's Army Swiss Knife, we can do so much, is we can set up remote access. So sudo netcat, instead of having this file, right? At first we had this file here, we're going to remove that and just open up port 443 on our system. Okay, we're just simply going to open up this port on our system. And then we're going to go back to this guy. I'm going to type CLS. And I'm going to do netcat.exe, followed by that system. I keep forgetting this thing, 150, 160. And then the port number that we want to connect to. Now, what I want to do is be able to control this system that we're looking at right now, right? This guy. I want to be able to control this system from here. All right, this is our attacking machine. This is the victim machine. We want to be able to control it. So what I'm going to do is pass over this command prompt. I'm going to pass this command prompt to this connection. Okay. Command.exe, that's the executable that's running this command prompt. I want to pass a command prompt from our Windows machine to this machine. Hit enter. And now look at here. Who am I? I'm student 01 on the workstation on one domain. Now we have access. This is a backdoor. All right, this is a backdoor that we have access to from our Windows workstation. Any questions on this, y'all? It's Netcat for you. All right. Let me see. Let's go ahead and I think I already started it. Yeah. All right, now we're going to go over some bash scripting. Before we get into that, bash scripting allows us to create scripts that use what most of us are familiar with, which is Linux terminal commands. such as ping google.com. We can automate this. We can ping multiple things inside of a script. We can run ifconfig inside of a script, netstat. All right, this can get as detailed as you need it to be. Okay, it can get as detailed as you need it to be. What we're going to learn, how we're going to learn bash scripting is through Nmap. All right, so Nmap is what? This is a port scanner. Okay, we can use Nmap to scan for open and closed ports. Okay. Right now with Netcat, we saw that we did have at least 2 ports open. We saw port 22 and port 80 were open. Now let's use an actual port scanner to scan to see if port 80. Actually, let's just scan to see what ports are open, period. And we'll save it to a file. So what we're doing right now, we're running the Nmap command. And we're saying, Nmap, we want you to scan this computer for open ports. This doesn't mean scan for open ports. This right here just means only show me the open ports. I don't want you to waste your time to show me ports that are closed. It's not going to do me anything right now at this moment. And then this switch right here saves the results of this scan inside of an Nmap file. Okay, if you want to see that file, it's going to be right there. If I cat it open, get the same information. All right, it spits it out to the screen and it saves it to a file. We see these 2 ports are open, port 22 and port 80. You can see the services that are open, SSH, HTTP. If we wanted to, we can ask Nmap to try and get the version of these services, the version of SSH and the version of HTTP with this version scan switch. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's doing more. But there's so many other things that you can scan for with Nmap. Okay, now you see we get the version. This HTTP service is using Apache 2.4.3. This SSH service is using OpenSSH 8.4.1. We can do more than version scans. We can scan for vulnerabilities. We can scan for operating system information. We can scan for the top 25 ports. We can scan for all 65,000 ports. To save your time as a pen tester, it's best to script out these scans. So what we have here is an Nmap scan that I call the Nmap Jutsu. It's really simple for the sake of this, right? Where my real Nmap Jutsu is doing a lot more than this. But let's go ahead and walk through this right here. So we'll just call this Nmap scan.sh. The reason it's called Nmap scan, the extension is going to be .sh because that is a bash script extension. So if you want to be able to run it as a bash script, you have to end it with the .sh, not .txt, not .xls, not .docx, .sh. Nano is a text editor. It's just going to open this up in a text editor for us. So to start out your bash script, Joel, I was telling you, you already knew what bash scripting was because you knew certain commands that you could automate. You were just missing this first line. All right, I don't know if you remember me saying that yesterday, but you were just missing this. This first line is the shebang. That's what this is called, shebang, with a bang and an exclamation point. It's telling the operating system to run this command using bash or run this script using bash. Okay, so now if we wanted to do ping google.com, you see our file here. We won't be able to run it just yet, right? If I tried to run it, it won't run. And that's because it's not an executable just yet. I have to change the commands or change the permission. I'm going to use the change mod to turn it into an executable. And then boom, I'll be able to run it now. And you see it's pinging Google for us. All right, that was simple. Okay, now let's go back to our, what was it called again? So Joe, that's what I was saying. You can already start automating your commands, right? You can start automating them, things that you already know about, however you want to do it. You just need to add this first line.
Okay.
Now with Nmap, let's go ahead and just do a basic Nmap scan. Nmap. Actually, I was trying to make it a little bit more simple. So with Nmap, what do we need to scan an Nmap or to run an Nmap scan? We need a target. Okay, we need an IP target or IPs. You can do a range of IPs or one IP. So in this script, we don't, I mean, unless you know what your target is before you do your reconnaissance, we don't know what the target is. So I can't just go ahead and go into the script and say, hey, I want you to do an Nmap scan on this guy. Because I don't know if that's going to be my target tomorrow. I can put it in here, but I would rather have the script ask me for my target. So I'm going to use this read-p. I'm literally doing this over, but I'm explaining what's going on. So I'm going to use read-p. And it's going to read target IP to the screen and take my input. And we were just talking about this in class, y'all, variables. It's going to read this target IP to the screen, and whatever I enter is going to store it as a variable called target IP. We were just talking about this. Then, right, we can run the Nmap command. Okay, Nmap. I like doing -v because it gives you more information about the scan. And this top 25 ports is just going to scan for the top 25 ports that are available. It's really a quick and dirty scan. I call it a quick scan. These are the same things I would type on a regular terminal right now. And I want it to scan our target IP that we give it, but we have to lead it with a $sign so it knows it's a variable. Okay, so whatever information we store here in the read, it will bring that same IP here. Then I want it to tell us only the open ports. And then we want it to save it to a file. We'll call it our quick scan. Then let's go ahead and type out another scan. All right, we got our quick scan. Let's do our version scan. This is why people automate, because we can do more than one thing. And let's just do one more for the sake of it. We'll do a vulnerability scan. Okay, now it'll scan for some vulnerabilities. All right, so our first scan, it is going to scan for the top 25 ports. It's going to scan this IP, give us open ports only, save it to this file. Next scan is going to do a version scan, give us open ports, save it to this file. The next scan is going to do a vulnerability scan. All right, technically it's called a script scan that's using vulnerability scripts. Now we can go ahead and do this. What I like to do is store my stuff in their own folder. So I'm going to run another command, the make dir command. Before it runs these Nmap scans, it's going to make a directory called Jutsu. Shout out to Naruto. And then we're going to change directories to the Jutsu command or Jutsu directory. And then it's going to run these scripts inside of this directory. So it's not all over the place on my system. So I'm going to save this. You can see how it's like blue, green now, whatever color this is. Before, when it was just a regular file, it wasn't executable, it was white. But once it's executable, you can see X, 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 we've made it executable. So now let's go ahead and run this nmap. Jutsu is asking us for the target IP. What is our target IP? 192.168.150.160. And it's just going to go to work. While that's going to work, look at the directory it made. It made the Jutsu directory. It's already done. Let's change directory to Jutsu. Look at the scans that it saved for us. Let's look at our quick scan. We already know what's going to happen here. Port 22 and port 80 are open. Let's look at our version scan. We saw this already before we did the script. And let's look at our vulnerability scan. Okay, they didn't find anything. That's fine. But does this make sense, Joel?
Yeah, that makes sense. To do everything at one time instead of having to run several different commands.
Right.
Yeah, that made sense.
And most of you are already familiar with things that you can use to create your own bash scripts. Starting out, obviously, you're not going to make the most detailed of scripts. That's okay. Get familiar with it. It's all right to be a beginner. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, you don't want to start developing this imposter syndrome where you're trying to pretend to be somebody you're not. Start out with what you know. Automate your pings. Automate your creation of directories, the deletion of directories. Automate what you know already. And then as time goes on, start challenging yourself to automate new things, right? Maybe you can automate your emails going out. You can automate backups, backing up your entire file system or certain directories. But practice that. Hey, any questions, y'all? Any questions at all? This was definitely some good information for this side of Thursday.
What command do you use to make the double screen?
So this is called tmux. This is called tmux. This is actually the shortcuts right here on my, I know some people probably calling me crazy, but my wallpaper on this workstation is, I got to throw that caveat out there so people don't think I have tmux on all my computers, but these are the shortcuts for tmux back here. Okay, tmux is a pretty cool command line, terminal screen splitter. I forgot the technical phrase for it, but it allows you to split your screens, right? You can split your screens any way you want. Split it some more, split it this way, right? But
Okay.
it's already pre-installed on Linux, so it's in your labs that you all have. All you got to do to start it up, tmux new -s, and then you get the name of this session. So that's boom. And now I have a tmux session where I can split screens now. That's why you see the blue for this line down here. And when I was first learning how to use this is why I put the wallpaper back there. I've just never changed it because I only use this workstation for Cyber Thursday or class.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just, like I said, you got to start from somewhere, right? I'm not ashamed to have a cheat sheet as my wallpaper to learn how to get better at something that's going to ultimately make me more lethal at what I do, right? I don't even use this right here anymore because I forced myself to use tmux. Well, not anymore. It's behavior now.
Okay.
But that's just what y'all got to do sometimes, y'all. Find you a cheat sheet, Linux
That's
commands, and have that thing right next to you. Store it on GitHub so you have it everywhere. That's your little repo. Try to force yourself to use everything that you're learning. there is no reason why neither of you cannot, at least the people who are in class, there is no reason why you can't practice everything we're learning. You have the labs, you have the same tools, everything that we've done on Cyber Thursday, everything we're doing in class, everything we just did now, you can do it on your labs. Let's say you didn't have a laptop to do it on, right? Your own local laptop, which you do, but you can log into these labs and do it. Play around with Tmux, play around with the commands, create your own bash scripts, play with the commands. I say it all the time, it's levels to it. If you really want to get into this field, if you really, 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 really want to develop those skills, enhance it, become more effective, turn into an asset for someone's organization, so you're dictating how much you get paid, then you're going to practice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you don't, then you're not going to practice. And that's fine. That's your choice. Like I said, there's levels to it. But don't get mad at somebody else when you can't do what you want to do because you didn't decide to practice. That's your fault. Just like it's the other person's fault that they are able to dictate their career, their future, because they did practice. So please practice. Excuses are for suckers. Don't use them. They're tools of the incompetent. Figure out a way to get what you want, right? Think of the reasons why you need to succeed, not the excuses why you don't have what you need to do, what you want to do. If there are no other questions, y'all, we're going to end this Cyber Thursday session. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Looks like our family is growing and growing every day, which is beautiful all around the world. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You all have a good night. Stay safe. Shout out to Telvin. I see Telvin on here. Who else is on here? Dami, how's work going, man?
Man, it's going, man. It's getting busier and busier, but it's going.
That's what I like to hear. Who else is on here? Y'all are hiding. Dami, Jared, what it do, man?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Amar, are you entertaining that job opportunity I sent over your way?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm still waiting for the email back from the recruiter, but I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Send me a message tomorrow morning. I'll ping him. I'll hit him up.
All right, appreciate that.
Make sure he gets back. Then everybody's in class. All right, y'all. Paula, Prada, Miss Desi. Oh, Obi, what it do, man? You hiding in here too. Hopefully
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I snuck in here. It was good. What's going on?
Nothing much. You entertaining that job opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm waiting for the phone call back though, but I'm definitely entertaining it.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna need both of y'all to send me your resumes back as soon as possible. Remember, tomorrow's Friday. That's when I check resumes. So.
All right, that's a bit. I got you.
All right. I would love to have those before Friday's over. But all right, y'all. Class. I'm gonna see y'all on Monday. Everybody else, hopefully I see you next Thursday. Y'all stay safe. Hold on to your loved ones. Let them know you love them. In class, study. Study, study, study like your life depends on it. Y'all have a good one. Peace.